All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. If you're old, hello. If you're new, I'm joined by a very special guest. As you'll see, he's a former presenter for current United Ultra, presenter on Sky Sports for NBA UK. He does it all. I'm joined by Yani. Yani, thank you so much for joining me, mate.
What a pleasure to be here. 1-0. I like it. Kosta, thank you for having me, bro. An absolute pleasure.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for joining. A lot to touch on. I know, obviously, you're a football fan, also involved with United. Everything they're doing now is just insane. Touch on that. Presenter for Sky when you're still young. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? 23. Still a baby, presenting for Sky NBA. Couple of questions there. Ask you for your tips for the NBA playoffs coming up soon. So we'll enjoy it. Good little chat. If you're new, subscribe, like, all that fancy stuff. So we'll start off Premier League. Who are you a fan of?
Class. Well, yeah, the Premier League is the sport that I first grew up watching. Before I jumped on this, I was watching the Tottenham documentary. Very much worth a watch. Go give that a little watch if you haven't. That's on Amazon Prime. Yeah. But I was a West Ham season ticket holder, Kosta. And to be quite honest with you, bruv, I'm not really a West Ham fan anymore. They've done me dirty. They've broken my heart. They've been running like an absolute pile of you-know-what for the last 10 years. Yeah. And I'd finally had enough. So about 3 years ago, I handed in my resignation. I said, you lot, been fun. I had my season ticket. I enjoyed myself, but I'm done. So right now, I follow the Premier League as a whole.
Yeah, I like that.
Right now, I follow the Premier League as a whole.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did my season predictions the other week. Do you think West Ham will get relegated?
West Ham won't get relegated because the squad they have compared to the other squads in the Premier League, you still got teams like West Brom, Brighton. West Ham have significantly better squads than these guys.
Yeah,
you've got Declan Rice in the middle, for God's sake. The kid's worth 60 mil.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'd be very surprised if they finish above 10th.
Yeah. I think I had them 15th. I agree. I don't think it's almost. I know it's going to sound a bit weird, but it's almost like the stadium too. It's like you just can't. They're not just a relegated team, you know.
Yeah, and can you imagine getting relegated with 60,000 seater? Shambles. There was one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get into the frustrations, but the owners of the club are just dreadful.
Yeah.
And like there was one point last year where it looked like West Ham were going to get relegated. I sat there and I was like, I hope they do.
Yeah. Well, that could be almost. I know it sounds a bit weird, but it could be the best thing for them, just to kind of bit of a wake up call and say, you know what, we need to make real changes, get everyone out, but financially it takes a huge hit and just players go.
Yeah, I mean, I can't respect it. Last point on West Ham before I go on an absolute tangent. Think of the money they spent. They spent 45 million on Haller, 40 million on Felipe Anderson. The Dons are on the bench. What am I doing there?
Yeah. Then you've got the likes of Callum Wilson, who left Bournemouth for free and going and scoring for Newcastle and looks like a decent little player.
Absolutely nuts.
So who do you reckon will take this season out?
Actually, tough one, isn't it?
Give me your top four. Top four. 4-1 if you want.
Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United.
All right, yeah.
That's what I got. Yeah, fairly standard.
Yeah.
From where I'm sitting, it seems like Arsenal could come in at 5th, maybe Tottenham at 6th. Are Everton stronger than Tottenham right now? Who knows? They beat them 1-0 in the season opener. Don't know. We'll see.
I think Ancelotti's the big...
I was talking with the # boys in the group chat about how much class there is in the Premier League now. That was upon the Thiago and Gareth Bale signings. Yeah. So yeah, very much looking forward to the season actually. Yeah,
the Thiago one. I think I had City winning the league also, but if Thiago signs, I think it's hard not to see Liverpool win.
Over the course of the season, now obviously they proved me wrong last year when Liverpool did, of course, but with their squad and with how strong their starting 11 is compared to their depth, it's very hard to go through a season and be healthy. And they managed to do it last year. I don't know if they'll be able to do it this year.
Yeah, well, sweet.
Will they be sustain an injury to Mo Salah, for example. But
Yeah, I agree. Well, you mentioned hashtag United before. I mean, you used to work there, presenter role, and obviously on YouTube, the massive. I think now starting to break barriers from that YouTube team. Just explain, give us a little bit. What was your role there? How, your thoughts on the club? Give us a bit of an insight.
it all started for me. Oh, Jesus. So I was working for the FA before I went to hashtag.
Yeah.
So I spent 2 years at the FA. I was doing social media there. So that's how I made my name. That's how I learnt my trade.
Yeah.
I was running social media for the England teams, the England under-21. So I know all those guys. And then it got to a point where I was going to have to leave the FA. They weren't renewing my contract. It was Jan Vertonghen bits. I couldn't believe it. Kosta, they weren't renewing my contract. I couldn't believe it. It was shambolic. Everyone was shocked. What, Jan, they're not renewing your contract. I was like, they're not. Anyway, they wanted to do that one there. I was like, fine, cool, whatever. So I'm looking around, and then Neil Smythe, who is the operations director at hashtag, he's the one that makes everyone tick. Nothing would happen at hashtag if it weren't for Neil Smythe. Yeah. Big up to that OG. He put out a call for volunteers on LinkedIn, and I messaged him. I said, "Yo, like I'm a whiz with socials. Like I'd love to volunteer on like Saturdays or something." And that was whilst I was still working at the FA, and I was obviously making P's at the FA. I don't need to make P's at hashtag.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, we were sort of looking more for volunteers for like ball boys and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, say nothing then. Cool, all right, whatever." And he was like, "Wait, who are you again?" And I was just like, I run the FA socials." He was like, "Oh, we're actually looking for a paid social media manager." I was like, "Oh, yeah, could do." So then we met for a coffee. And then it was really a wrap from there. He gives me a call when I'm in the office, goes, "Yeah, we'd like to offer you the job." There and then, I went straight online and found a flat in Essex where hashtag's based.
Yep.
And yeah, didn't look back from there. Just walked in. I didn't know anything about hashtag either. I'd worked the Wembley Cup for Wembley. So I'd been on the Wembley side of the Wembley Cup. So like if you look at that old footage, you might see me floating around, or like you might see old videos of me interviewing Theo Baker for the Wembley social channels. But I didn't know any of these, man.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being part of the hashtag family. So I remember getting in, and that was as soon as they entered the non-league journey. So it was it was an incredible time at hashtag.
Yeah, as I said, before we started, I said, I remember, Spencer, especially watching him, even Wheel of Fortune days, or his FIFA days, or whatever, and seeing what he's done with hashtag. And I think it's just I think everyone there just creates such an awesome dynamic, and everyone just looks like mates,
Mate, like I cannot explain how sincere like everything you see is. Like do you know about the esports boys? Hashtag Harry. Well, obviously Harry's left. Shorey, Tom, Wes.
Yeah.
Like us five are boys for life.
Yeah.
We're the ones that live together along with Spen, in Essex. But yeah, us five are boys for life. Like even this summer, we've been on some mad adventures. Only 2 weeks ago did I go on a mad one. Go up. Me and Shorey went up to Liverpool. And then I spent 4 days in Derby. Shorey's mum's the GOAT. Shout out Saz. And yeah, like and then obviously the football lot. Like, I cannot explain how sincere all of that stuff is. We really are just all like boys. 100%. Hashtag's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's just the vibe just comes off the screen. Obviously here in Australia, but just everything you can just feel it. It's like it's a club you want to be a part of, a club that you want to create. So we'll touch on that. I mean, obviously, if you're not keeping up with them now, go and check hashtag United's channel, because they're in. So that qualifies for the FA Cup, but there's like first round, and there's like a second round, and there's preliminary round, and all that stuff. But pretty much, they're smashing it. They're doing really well. I know you were at the game last week, and I think the next FA Cup game is coming up in a couple of days.
Yeah. I've been to the last 2 FA Cup games. you know what I mean? It's just family ones, really. I have to go. But yeah, they're always buzzing to see me. Like me going to a hashtag game, like it just feels right, because you got to remember I was at every game tweeting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm walking around like I own the place. Like I'm saying hi to everyone. Like I'm chilling with everyone, cracking bant. Everyone from Albie's mum at Manj, who runs the door.
Yeah.
Stevie CB in the change room. Do you know what? And anyone at hashtag will back me up on this. There's a physio called Will Slaughter who nobody knows. Yeah. Nobody knows. And sometimes I try to stick a camera on him and he just has none of it. But he's the funniest Don. He's potentially the funniest Don we have at hashtag. Jokes. So yeah, I miss all those guys. And when I get to go to a game, I don't get to go in the change room and stuff like I used to. Like, sucks. But yeah, it feels good to be going back to hashtag games. And yeah, the last one, I'm sure you watched the video, hashtag winning 13-12 on penalties, which is incredible. The scenes were unbelievable. Go and check that video out if you haven't, if you're listening to this one.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said before, kind of breaking barriers from the YouTube team. Also, we'll touch on a bit about more yourself and what you're doing now with Sky. But like, you see the likes of Vuju going. Jack Mate was there with Alfie.
This is the thing, bro. Like, if you're part of the YouTube scene, hashtag's got to be your club, bro.
Yeah.
Hashtag has to be your team, man. Yeah. Like, there's no two ways about it. There's no way you should be throwing shade at hashtag. Like, hashtag has to be your team if you're part of the YouTube scene. Yeah. Because what Spen's doing from being a YouTuber is incredible. And no one's ever gonna tell me, oh no, I'm not gonna support hashtag because Spen did me dirty. And I'll tell you why, because Spen's never done anyone dirty. He's a straight shooter. Yeah. No one's ever said anything bad about Spen. You'll realise.
Yeah.
And I can't. Yeah. I've never, and I've lived with him.
Yeah.
He's the man. I can't tell you how much indirectly I've learned just from being around Spen. He is the absolute man. You've never seen someone so driven and organised, and that believes in equality and fair play so much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd be the one trying to cut corners.
Yeah,
I'd be the one trying to cut corners, and Spen's playing ball by the book. Fair fucking play.
Yeah, no, it's big. That's good. I mean, it's awesome that you see these people, especially for us here, we're so far away, whatever. And to hear what you have to say, or even what you have to say about the boys, even you just doing this and, in that whole group, I think it shows a lot. And I think that's why hashtag, and they're on the rise. So hopefully one day, even League One, like Premier League.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Hopefully so. Nah, it is so fun. I could talk for hours about how great hashtag United is. Everyone knows that.
So we'll move on to, obviously you're presenting at a bit of an on-camera role for hashtag. You said you were doing the media. You're now presenting NBA. Obviously, from what it seems like from here, they're doing a massive push to make it a bit more popular in the UK, where you're from. You're presenting now on Sky for them. Obviously with COVID, I'm assuming it was a little bit different, getting used to this stuff online. How did that whole Sky offer come around? Did they, approach you from hashtag? Did they see your stuff from there, or maybe? Yeah.
So I was at hashtag doing socials and getting in front of camera a little bit, but really that's LP's realm.
Yeah.
You get me? Like that's not my realm. But the more I started growing up, and it started actually what I mentioned, circling back to the Wembley Cup, when I did a few on-camera bits. Yeah. And that was the first time I did on-camera bits. I actually just put myself on the Wembley social channels and didn't tell anyone. Everyone's just seeing my face on there. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Point being is that I really started to understand that I quite back myself in front of camera, and really and truly, fast forwarding to where I am now, I'm gonna be one of the biggest presenters in the UK come 3 years time.
Yeah.
So I started sort of coming up and realizing what I had. When I get to hashtag, I'm running the social media and I'm doing a little bit of presenting, and I get a little bit of a taste for it. Yeah. So how the Sky stuff comes about is, when I was back at the FA, I had a friend. His name's James Bowles. He's a legend. I caught up with him a couple of weeks ago, and he was like a senior strategy don at the FA. And I walked past his desk one day at Wembley. The offices are in Wembley. They're beautiful, actually. I walked past his desk one day, and he's watching basketball. Sitting there thinking, what the fuck? Guys watching basketball. So like I'm the young kid. I'm the young kid at the FA. I was actually part of the customer service team at the time.
Yeah.
I'm the young customer service kid. I'm not just gonna I wasn't just gonna pipe up. But then maybe 3 weeks ago or whatever, and I just make a comment. And literally since I made that comment, we've been boys since that day.
Yeah.
Kind of guy whose sofa I'd sleep on if I went into London.
Yeah.
Anyway, he now does senior strategy for Sky. He left the FA, went to Sky Sports.
Yeah. Okay.
When Sky wanted to create an NBA channel, which they called 24 Swish at the time.
Yeah.
They called it 24 Swish, and essentially I needed a presenter. James put me forward.
Yeah.
He knows from the last 2 years of me and him chatting shit at lunchtime.
Yeah.
That I know ball. He puts me forward. So then I become that guy. I say to them, can we bring Mo in?
Yeah.
So then suddenly it's me and Mo doing 24 Swish. And it was a wrap from there. 24 Swish then gets canned.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain 24 Swish. It was just a channel that Sky created without any Sky branding. Yeah. Hoping that not having Sky on it would make it more cool and popular. Didn't really work out that well.
Yeah.
24 Swish gets scrapped and me and Mo essentially just move into Sky.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So is it, in a way, did it kind of work out better, I guess, that the 24 Swish? Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. 24 Swish let me learn what not to do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get you. That's cool. I mean,
24 Swish taught me what not to do. Because I if you look back at those, I wasn't that good.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you're 23 now, so I'm sure you're still young. And you see presenters now, all, football, especially, or ex-footballers, basketball, you said they're all ex-basketballers with that knowledge.
If you look at everyone in the scene, this is what, I'm smart enough and mature enough to know. If you look at everyone in the scene, I'll list you. Craig Mitch, Vuj, Spen, Jack, mate, I'll go on. They're all 30.
Yeah.
They're all 30. They're all 30, which means I'm not sitting here panicking for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because I just know.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the names you mentioned, I know Craig Mitch, he's just starting. Spen, obviously, just starting. Vuj looks like he can do heaps more. And you've got still 7 years to spare. So
yeah, that's it. So I end up sort of doing a few bits of Sky, and then I'm doing bits for Sky alongside Hashtag. And there comes a point where I'm flying to Paris for Sky, and I didn't tell Hashtag, and I get a message. I get a message from Neil you need to tell me if you're doing this and that. It's not really a problem. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. At that point, they're starting to kind of realize that Jans is into his presenting his NBA stuff.
Yeah.
And it got to a point, really and truly, all out on the table, where I was struggling on the socials. Like my job as the social media manager, I'd gone from having a stellar year, and just like an athlete performing, I'd always say it, just like an athlete performing. Thing is, the spotlight was always on me. Yeah. Spelling mistakes, cropped pictures, stuff like that. Simple things. If I were to make a mistake, everyone knows it's me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair.
Like I said, I just wasn't performing that well. And my heart wasn't in the socials anymore. My mind had been taken away from socials. I'd somewhat fallen in love with the idea of being a presenter.
Yeah.
In a long space. My performance on socials started declining to a point where I couldn't really stay at Hashtag anymore.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing the socials, I'm not going to stay at Hashtag as a full-time presenter. What a dossy job. Imagine. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Stamps does the presenting, LP does the presenting, but they're master editors. You can't, do you know what I mean? You can't stay around and not have a skill set. So it got to a point, come January, where, me and Neil said, all right, we're going to have to part ways.
Yeah.
Which obviously I was fine with.
Yeah.
Everyone was gutted, but it was certainly the right thing to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's still, obviously, like you said, you still go, so there's still that mutual respect. Everyone's still boys. So,
yeah.
It wasn't and at the end of the day, you were doing what was best for you, really. So if you found another passion, do what's best for you.
It was certainly weird, like suddenly, even though I still loved it, like you would have seen me. It's not as if I was moping around and I was being my normal self, but I just wasn't performing.
Yeah.
Which was so weird.
Yeah, well, now you say that, like, it never once did it seem like, oh yeah, he's going and doing another job. Like,
yeah.
Like it's
No,
it never
yeah,
seemed like it. So, yeah.
not
But
once was I'm open or nothing, but yeah.
yeah. You mentioned you got Mo into 24 Swish also. The likes of, I know, close mate or mates with Lawrence McKenna also. I know he recently just went on NFL UK. So you're starting to see a lot more of these, a lot of people. You mentioned Vuj, you mentioned Spen. Spen's done a lot of hosting himself, presenting himself. What way do you think forward is it for? Because you're not really a YouTuber. You're just on that scene with hashtag. But there's a lot more people in the social media space who are more independent social media stars, I guess. What do you think the way forward for them to do is? What advice would you have for even people such as myself who would like to get on the screens talking sport without taking possibly the normal route of studying at school, doing that, finding that job? Yeah, so what do we have to say about
The advice is quite simple actually. If you're trying to get into the space or whatever, don't study it. Yeah. Jesus, I mean, definitely don't pay to study it.
Yeah.
Study it by yourself at home, certainly.
Yeah.
It's just about putting your own content out, constant content, engaging with anyone and everyone, getting involved, doing jobs. If Melbourne FC if you know that they need volunteers for social media, you go do it. You go do all that stuff. You go get involved with everything.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many things I volunteered for, bruv.
Yeah.
2015 NFL International Series games, I was a volunteer handing out stickers to fans. Next year, I'll be on Sky Sports NFL.
Yeah. Is that already done, or you're confident?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm confident that it'll happen. It needs to.
That's awesome.
But it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. You just got to get involved in everything. There's no two ways about it. You have to volunteer and get involved in absolutely everything. Gee, I still volunteer.
Yeah.
I still volunteer for stuff. I had a call yesterday for a project alongside. Do you know Specs?
Yeah.
So it'd be a football project with me and Specs presenting.
Oh, that's mad.
And because I hear Specs is on it, and they're talking to me about fee, I said, Geezer, just give me a tenner and a banana and I'm sweet.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, Kosta. I'm from the bits. I'm not like everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like everyone else. I'm from the trench. Like, I'm in the trenches. Like, I'm not in a good area.
Yeah.
Realistically and feasibly, people in my position, with how much I sort of need to provide, how much I need to get out of this place, wouldn't be taking things for free. But I do.
Yeah.
Because I love the game and I know that it will help me meet people. And I know that once I meet people, really and truly, because I'm so straight, that it's a wrap.
Yeah. Right, that's awesome.
That's the advice. That's the advice. Get stuck in and work on yourself as well. It's one thing to go and volunteer and everything, but like you need to make an impression. You need to genuinely be an interesting person.
Yeah.
You need to really have a bit about you. You need to be knowledgeable. You need to be intelligent. You need to be the kind of guy that people want around.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was actually sick. Yeah, you spoke a lot of sense there too. I mean, even just you doing this, you don't have to do this.
No.
But you're obviously a very presentable guy too. You got
the boys, Kosta.
That's the boys. For the boys. Now we spoke about NBA. I want to get you did a live stream. Go catch it. What you live stream most NBA games?
Yeah, well, we've only done 2 live streams now. Myself and Mo have been live streaming a watch along whilst the NBA games have gone on, and they've actually been really quite successful. We've first live stream we had sort of 20 constant viewers. Yesterday we had 30. So really good to see people sort of just tuning in and watching us.
Yeah.
And so we are hoping sort of live stream certainly a lot more games. But we did live stream last night the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. What a game!
Well, Miami's taken it now 2-0.
They have.
Can they go through?
Gee, this is one of those things where really anything can happen in the bubble. And if Boston win game 3, which is perfectly feasible,
yeah,
and it's 2-1, then, do you know what I mean? We saw this with the Raptors. The Raptors come back against the Celtics. They were 2-0 down.
yeah,
They end up bringing it back to 3-3 and forcing a game 7. So, but the Heat look impressive.
they do. I mean,
impressive, and the Celtics look befuddled, flustered.
well, I'm not
really
sure.
Out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen it today, but your reports were coming out, and Marcus Smart went into the locker room and screaming, yelling, and there was just a lot of noises. How much you believe that? But then again, I guess you kind of want that, because if they kind of all went in,
it's just not an issue.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things which is really frustrating. As a guy that's played high level sport, like I'll do that shit if we're 25 up.
Yeah.
But the fact that people are blowing this up. So anyone that hasn't caught it, Marcus Smart, one of the Boston Celtics players, has gone into the locker room and started essentially screaming and throwing things about, because the reporters are so close to the changing room, they get to hear all that stuff, and they're making a big deal out of it. Sitting there thinking that shit happens all the time, man. Everyone chill out.
Yeah.
You know, it's just gone down 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Do you know what I mean? They're understandably fuming.
You'd almost react like, if I was a Boston fan myself, I kind of want them to react like that. If he just walked in and said,
everyone
yeah,
oh, guys, unlucky, but we'll get him next time, and then hanging their head in shame. Like, are you all right? Of course, exactly. No, you want that fire, of course. But yeah, Miami looking really, really impressive here in the East. Oh my days!
So, who do you think, final prediction, will take out that series?
The Miami Heat are going to win this series.
Oh.
And I don't like doing predictions too tough, but the Miami Heat they're going to win this series. They're too strong. They're far too strong. They've got too much dog in them. Nobody can match this level of dog, despite the fact that the Celtics have got Marcus Smart, despite the fact that they've got Jaylen Brown. This Heat team are dogs.
Yeah.
Duncan Robinson fires at an unholy rate. Tyler Hero is one of the most impressive rookies we've seen for a very long time. I could rattle on about this Miami Heat team. Bam's the one that took over the third quarter. The Celtics were down 15. Sorry, the Celtics were up 15.
Yes, yeah.
The Heat were down 15 in the third quarter. I sat there and I thought, I'm a bit worried here for the Heat. Mo immediately turns to me and goes, we're terrible in the third quarter. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Alas, here we are. And the Miami Heat have taken win over the Boston Celtics by hitting big shots and playing incredible defense. You love to see it.
Yeah, well, that's huge. Well, then the other game on the other side is Lakers-Denver. I mean, Denver coming off a crazy series against Clippers. I think in the books you would have rather the Clippers versus Lakers. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm a Lakers fan personally, but I think now that it's more becoming a little bit, I think I'm more just a bit like you, a football fan, just a basketball fan. Whoever I'm liking. But I tell you what, Denver, Jokic and Jamal Murray looking crazy.
How great have they been to watch? Now, Vuj will tell you this, because he's obviously a massive fan of Nikola Jokic being from Serbia.
Yeah.
But Jokic and Murray, the way they're playing right now, they're playing in a way that if somebody's watching and they're not even into basketball, they're sitting there going, damn, this is incredible to watch. But yeah, over on the other side, in the Western Conference Final, the Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. Do you know what, first round, the Utah Jazz go 3-1 up against the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
For anyone listening that doesn't understand sort of the landscape, you have to win 4 games out of 7. If you're 3-1 up, you only have to win 1 more game. I wrote the Nuggets off. I said, get them out of here.
Yeah.
Boom. The Nuggets come back. And then they go 3-1 down to the Clippers. I did this exact same thing. Oh, yeah, no, we'll just talk about the Clippers-Lakers Western Conference Final. We might as well. Nuggets are getting dispatched. They come back again.
Okay.
Kosta, I want to sit here and talk about... Because really and truly, I believe the Lakers are going to dispatch the Nuggets. But who am I? What do I know anymore?
Well, honestly,
it's shambolic.
I told a mate yesterday, I'm like, honestly, I think Lakers will sweep them. But I know if you say that, Lakers will win the first. Lakers actually haven't played the best first game of the series. I mean, I think we lost.
They have. They've flopped both of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really could go either way. I mean, there's all the chance that it could be a Miami versus Denver final.
But how great has it been having this kind of this kind of basketball where nobody knows?
Yeah, I think that's good.
No, it's been incredible. Anyone that talks to me, and you've got to realise, Costa, people here love the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right, small tangent. Oh my God, when I'm talking about mandem, I'm talking about young males. Yeah, young people everywhere. Yeah, loving the Premier League and trying to tell me that it's better than basketball. When, geez, like, just the culture's completely different.
Yeah.
Like, footballers aren't allowed to express themselves. Like, it's just a completely different landscape. And yeah, the NBA just flat out. When people start realizing that the NBA is miles better than the Premier League, that's when the world will be a better place.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna geek out a little bit here. I don't know. Some of the boys watching are probably gonna laugh, but I don't know if you've been if you've jumped on the NBA cards trend. You know, the rookie cards, the sporting cards have started to increase a little bit. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm exposing myself a little bit. I bought a pack. All the packs sold out. I bought it for like $35.
Yeah.
And they said, and you know, the rookie cards, a Zion or a Ja Morant, absolutely freaks for the future. Any of their cards, go for bulk. It's chill. In the same pack, I got a Ja and a Zion. So thanks for coming, guys.
Did you?
Yeah, I was gassed.
Thanks for coming, guys. You're hilarious, man.
Yeah, I geeked out a little bit. So now it's an addiction. I got a bit of money for my birthday. I'm like, stop buying cards.
But stop buying cards. We've all been there, bruv.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Look, honestly, if there's anything else you want to touch on, I've had an absolute ball.
Mate, it's been absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Keep pushing, 100%. Keep pushing. Keep figuring out different ways you can put out content. Even if you just make a Twitter account, maybe an NBA one, maybe a Premier League one, and not your personal one that you messaged me on. Maybe Kosta on NFL or Kosta on NBA or whatever. Be putting out videos, be following people from the community, and then you start getting better and better.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, bro. Thank you so much for tuning in, for joining me. Again, like, subscribe. Go. What are your socials? I'll leave your socials in the description.
I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I made sure to follow the 1-0 channels and stuff.
Yes, thank you, bro. Again, if you enjoyed, leave a subscribe, like, all that stuff. Leave a comment. Yani, thanks heaps, bro. And don't forget,
Pleasure,
I'm not gonna lie, I stole this a little bit off hashtag always 1-0 up. Chuck a little 1-0.
Particularly all the 1-0 bits.
That's it.
Thanks for coming.